Rockwell podcast episode. I don't give a fuck what episode it is. We have a very, very, very special episode with a very, very special guest. We got my man Weston Coppola in the building. Let's make some noise.
Absolutely,
Weston Coppola. This man is an artist. This man is a genius, and I'm very gracious to have this man on our podcast. If it's grainy right now, we're gonna fix that later. It's all good.
We'll make it 4K.
There we go. You heard it here first.
This man's a genius as well. The sentiment is absolutely reciprocated and mutual.
Thank you.
That's why I gave my brother this right here. And
that means the world to me too.
It's from my Greek culture.
Explain it. Explain what
So, the Spartans used to wear this when they fought against Persia in the Battle of Thermopylae, which was 326 to 400 BCE. But this is when basically it wasn't actually 300 people; it was 1,000 people with some support from Italy. But they literally fought off over 1 million troops of Persian immortals for 3 days.
Okay.
So
it's powerful.
Yeah. But of course, we always have to like double check the history because we don't really know how much of everything but it is veridical.
It's vertical. I love that you said that. We're gonna get into that later because I love that you said that. Me and him have kicked it a few times now, and I get to know this man's spirit, this man's embodiment, what he represents. I got to learn a lot about his creativity, his process, and now we're here to share it with y'all. I want to start from the beginning. Your name is Weston Coppola, correct?
That's correct, brother. Yes, I changed my name back to my paternal lineage's real name, Coppola. We were back in the 1500s in Italy, and we were along the Medici family and the Visconti family. We're also from southeastern Italy in Bernalda, so we're very Grecian as well. That's why I have this tattoo here. And then I speak Greek,
What does that mean?
That means I want wine, bro.
That's ill. Me too.
Cheers.
Hey. For those of y'all who don't know, Medici family is the ones who funded Van Gogh. We'll get into that later as well.
And Da Vinci.
Da Vinci too. Maybe it was Da Vinci, not even Van Gogh. Van Gogh had another family. I don't know, man.
I don't know.
That's the Rockwell podcast. We search our facts later, but we're gonna start from the beginning. So, how'd you get into acting? Like, okay, your father's Nicolas Cage. Everybody knows that. You're known for that. How did you yourself get into acting because of that, or is it innate in your like DNA, or how did you get into it? Like, did you want to do it?
According to my mother, I started acting when I was 3. People would come over to the house and I started entertaining them. And one time my dad and Penelope Cruz, when I was like a little boy, I had a video camera and we all made a movie together. And I was directing really well. And I didn't know I was a good director. I thought that I was just an actor and a martial artist and shit and musician. But apparently Crispin Glover said I was a great director. I was like,
I still say that to this day because if you watch this man's Instagram videos, even if he does a vlog, if he's just talking to the camera, he can't help but make it cinematic. It's like he can't help it. Even if he wanted to just make it normal, he can't. It looks like a fucking movie every time, which is ill.
It's always go epic or go home, right?
There you go. So we'll get back into all that later. But would you agree your main passion is music? Because you have could you let the people know what is it heavy metal or dark metal, black metal, and what genre it is, and what your name of your band is, so they can know?
I invented a genre called ghost metal. I grew up in haunted mansions. It sounds weird, but it's true. The Lurie Mansion being one of them. I've always been kind of connected to the darker things in life.
Why? Not to cut you off, I just want to know.
Because I had a really bad mental illness when I was a kid. I had OCD, and I healed that through Hinduism and Judaism and making my own religion called Mastera Divinita, and I have a couple followers as well. And I mean, it just basically I decided to join what I couldn't defeat because I was overwhelmed with darkness as a child. And my first word was light, though.
What does that mean? Like we were like a young kid?
Yeah, I used to read people's auras in Venice Beach.
How did you do that? Like,
well, you can see someone's aura if you stare at their nose and blur your eyes a little bit. It just takes practice to recognize the color. Because I mean, like,
what age did you realize that? Sorry, I'm sorry.
No worries, no. I started seeing colors around my parents. I remembered childbirth, which is something that therapists have said is not real, but I totally remember the womb and when I was taken out, and remember that the woman's name was Raphael, and that's also the last name of my wife, the real last name.
That's crazy. So since then, do you think that can you re-mention your name of the religion that you created so that the people can know? And I want to ask you this before you answer that: is that going to be considered a cult just because you created something and you have followers, or how would you defend that? Which you shouldn't have to. But how would you like explain that?
I do run a cult.
Okay.
But we help people elevate spiritually. I had a guy named Bora live with me for a while, and we released the demon inside of him. I have it all on camera. This whole phone is just saturated with me. Like, I've saved a guy from a class 5 river.
What is that? A class 5 river, like a hard tide?
Yeah, he was too drunk for his own good, and he almost went inside the current, and I pulled him out of the current, and that was my
what
game changer.
What's like your process through that, and what religions have you learned from that you incorporated within that? Because it's interesting, man. Like, dude, this guy's a positive dude. So everybody, if you think this is negative or dark, it's not dark. If it's dark, then you're not right with yourself, because everything he's saying is spiritual. So continue.
Yeah. If you're not at ease or at some kind of reconciliation with your dark side, you'll always be in a state of repression. And apparently, for everybody that I know, especially that doesn't have a healthy relationship with their shadow self, they'll get pulled into depressions, and they will eventually be in samsara for the rest of their life.
Explain that to the people, samsara, because they don't know.
So samsara is something mentioned in all Indian religions. So this is mentioned in Hinduism, Sikhism, Buddhism. This is mentioned in even Jainism, which is the most intense religion. For those of you who don't know, Jains are so afraid of hurting life that when they pull, they abstain from eating certain vegetables to abstain from hurting insects. And you have to keep your house clean so that you don't accidentally sit on insects.
That's cool.
They're very holy people. But anyway, what I learned from Hinduism and Buddhism is that samsara is in buddhi, which is the lowest part of your mind. Above this is Buddha, and below that is Buddhu, which just means fool in Hindi. Buddha, back in India, when you were on a spiritual journey, people would give you money. People would give you food. People would pay for you to go to Tibet or wherever you wanted to go up to the mountains. And as Indian gurus joke, they say that it's delicious.
It is delicious. Shout out to Stizzy. They got to sponsor me, man. Absolutely. I've been repping you guys for.
We'll make that happen.
Yeah.
The gurus of India always joke that Shiva becomes your slave when you leave samsara, and that's just a joke. Shiva can never be your slave. Shiva's Rudra form, the most powerful being. There's only 3 elements in life: it's creation, destruction, and preservation.
Can you delve into that a little bit more?
Absolutely. So, Sattva is the name of creation. Raja is the name of basically passion. It's a red energy.
Red
like
energy.
Wine.
Okay.
And then Tama is darkness.
What energy is that color-wise?
No, it's a jet black energy that basically is so dark that it makes outer space and the night look like a shade of white.
Dude.
Yeah. It's a very powerful force, and this came to me. I had a grand mal seizure when I started worshiping Shiva.
At what age was that?
This was last year. I kept saying
Okay.
Om Namah Shivaya, and Chandras Bharadwaj taught me a lot of amazing techniques, and I used marijuana properly and started penetrating. That's what it is penetration. Just as intellect, ratiocination, heliocentric comprehensive cosmology, Scoville heat units, miles per hour, quantum physics, all these, you and I talking is intellect, but above this is manas. We don't know our grandfather, but his nose is on our face. And then there's ego, which is ahankara, identity. You tell someone you're a good American, okay, they'll die for that. You're a Crip, you're a Blood, you're a Hell's Angel, whatever. If you believe that your ahankara is connected to some kind of archetype, even if you'll kill yourself for it. And then there's Chitya, which is the divine illumination, and that's the wakefulness.
Word. Is that your?
Yeah.
All right,
let's see
we'll
what
wait
that
on
is.
it. We're gonna pause real quick. We'll be back. Somebody just got the wrong door. Somebody just rang his doorbell on the wrong floor. It is what it is. He handled it in a nice way. I would have been a little bit more. What happened right now? Something random.
Some random guy. As soon as we were talking about spirituality, see people come.
That's crazy.
You know, things happen.
Yeah.
I have so many videos of me doing magic, bro.
We gotta get it. Let's get into that right now. Actually, like, and you spell magic with the MAGICK, and
Correct.
people don't know about what that. And I know what that is, but explain to the people. I don't know enough.
Well, there's false magic.
Okay.
Which is basically when you create an illusion. So it could be as simple as, oh, disappeared. That's fake. Okay. Real magic is when you waltz with quantum physics and you create changes to occur in conformity with willpower. So that's why in AA, when they're like, oh, you're powerless. You can't do this on self-will. No, it's not. If you don't have self-will, you don't exist. Period. You have to have self-will in order to wake up every single day and be like, yes, I exist. Otherwise, you'll die. You have to carve yourself into reality every single day. You have to paint your existence into reality every single day.
What is the lack of self will? If you die, like, what if one day somebody woke up with a lack of self will? Is that suicide initially, or or is that just depression? It is.
It's
right?
suicide.
You're killing your soul.
I did kill myself once, and I did come back to life. I took a bunch of medication, and ever since I came back, I've had a weird connection with the other realms. You know.
Were you into the spirituality before you were into? Because we're gonna get into the music, and he has an album coming out any day now. We're not sure because I'm waiting for him to put it out. And please mention the name of the album. We're ADD podcast, so please mention the name of the album.
Oh, it's gonna be called Hollywood Noir by West Cage, but
Noire.
NOIR, but I might change it to Welcome to the Tribe because I want people to feel welcome to this record.
Okay.
I can play some of it if you would like.
We're gonna get right into that. I just want to ask this. Okay, which one did you get into first? Spirituality, and we're gonna play it.
All these girls hitting me up. I'm not gonna answer.
Hey, it's quarantine, y'all.
Quarantine, bro.
Chill.
I don't want COVID-19.
You know what I'm saying? So, okay, which one did you get into first? Was it a religion, spirituality, spirituality, music, or acting? What was your natural calling as a kid? Religion. Why? And what was the religion initially?
I grew up with a lot of
Buddhism. That's like, how were you, like, on the mom's side or dad's side?
On my mom's side, my dad's side is more pagan.
Pagan is like a Christian branch, right?
It's
because I'm learning as you guys know, and I'm not sure.
It's responsible for the majority of all religion. I mean, we are all pagan.
Okay.
We're all connected to some pagan. The only country that's still, like, respecting the belief is India. Is because India, namaste to Bharat, they believe in there's an endless system, a silo of gods and goddesses, Sri Lakshmi, Ganesha, Kali, sacred imagery, Shiva. I grew up. I have always leaned more towards the Hindu religion because it's obvious that in this parallel matrix of dimensions, which is existence, dimension 3 is here, Malkuth, where we're all speaking, photons, electrons, whatever. Above that is dimension 4, which is your dreams, and it's a very liquid dimension. It's a strange dimension. Then there's 5, and 5 is unconditional love.
And do you think that's the most important?
It's the most important, and the frequency of love is 521 hertz. That's at the resonance of F sharp.
How do they measure the frequency of heart rate, or like, how do they measure the vibration? Just real quick.
You can measure the vibration with. I mean, I have some technology that can measure this right here is like a frequency. You could also record.
What kind of like body pulse needs to be measured? Like a literal, like your wrist pulse, heartbeat, or brain waves? You know, like which one is that they measure it by?
Over to the buffs I got it, like the or Shashubna, which is right here. That's where Kundalini energy comes through. You put
that's my favorite yoga.
Absolutely too, man. Kundalini energy is the best, and you know that energy stays dormant in us. And as we grow older, we become less innovatory, and we start to become more and more analytical of ourselves. When you leave Samsara, the paradise begins. That's when the light from your tailbone, the coccyx, is where it's registered. When you're
where's the coccyx? Like for people who don't know,
coccyx
in your body,
right at the bottom of the vertebrae. It curves kind of inward.
Okay,
that's your tailbone.
Got you.
And that energy will stay plugged up and dormant. This light energy that we're speaking of, that we do, Kundalini energy. I mean, you can activate it by putting your right thumb over your right nostril, and then when you breathe in, that's Ida, which is female energy, and then breathing in from here is Pingala, which is male energy, and then when you breathe through both, that's Shashumna. Wow, I just got high from that.
I want to do that shit too.
You can literally hallucinate on this. You'll never need never need alcohol or drugs again.
100%.
It's I mean, shit, man. I remember one time, like, I had no money. I didn't even care because I was doing that.
Because you just felt at peace with the world, huh? No matter what. No chemicals needed.
No.
That's what the goal, I think, of everybody. Sometimes people say, and I saw this on Craig Ferguson, shout out to Craig Ferguson, he said, like, you know, it's a blessing sometimes when you're an addict or you have like addictions, because some people just go through life with like the weekend warriors, as we call them, the people who work 9 to 5s. So shout out to all y'all. But I want to make this known, like, you guys are going, some of y'all are going through life just getting fucked up on the weekends and feeling the lack of chemical balance that Sunday morning, and then you got to go through work the next 5 days. But if you incorporate what he's just talking about and everything, you won't have to do that. But I'm saying what Craig Ferguson said is a blessing, because if you are an addict, you approach that subject and you what is the word? Like, you just tackle that way before a lot of people do, because it's a blessing, honestly, to all the addicts out there. It's a blessing because you tackle that, and you need to tackle that. Everybody needs to tackle that, because at the end of the day, everything, you know, we smoke cigarettes and shit, bro. We having a good time, but at the end of the day, you know, we want to be free, and it's also your mind, bro. I'm not condoning it. This is my personal. With my mind, how strong my mind is, I don't think this shit's gonna kill me, bro.
No, it won't.
And I'll quit when it's time. It's like, you can't let. It's all about your emotions, but everything that affects your body affects your emotions. Am I right?
100%. You cannot think that you're dying. You know, this is something that people are like, oh, I'm aging with grace. So, yeah, as you age, you get to kind of come into contact with the ecstasy of wisdom.
Yeah.
And people tell you anything rude. People are messing with you at work. There's an old Welsh proverb that goes, a spoon doesn't know the taste of soup, much like a learned fool doesn't know the taste of wisdom. And we have wisdom here. Ro and I don't break away from the wisdom that we've inherited. Mm-hmm. We don't fucking let people, otherwise you'd just be a construct of your subconscious. You don't want to be what people called you in school, do you? I mean, or what your parents thought of you, or look at yourself through the eyes of your parents. You should look at yourself through the eyes of God.
100%. And you say the wisdom that you inherited, but do you also think that you worked on yourself enough at a young age to learn this wisdom that maybe your lineage previous was not accustomed to, or they weren't enlightened towards, like, you know, what you had to learn going through what you did as a kid? And do you think that, like, maybe you're more spiritually, not in a negative way, but more spiritually evolved than your previous ancestors, quote unquote, you know?
Maybe. I mean, I think I've definitely gone a little farther into it than others have.
And that's going to help your lineage going forward, because you're going to teach those lessons down. And I think acting, music, everything we do as artists, it's conducive to us learning more about ourselves, which entails learning about our spirituality and learning ways to be a catalyst to that, you know, and just igniting that spirituality. And you have a lot of wisdom on that. So let's get into, okay.
There was this woman that Rockwell podcast. Yeah, if you guys are practicing with meditations and stuff like that, I'll fill you up, bro.
Thank you, man.
Don't get into numerology just quite yet, because we have a warning in Coppola in Judaism. Basically, if you go too far up the tree, I know people who have gastritis from just studying about numerology, about moving up the tree, which is called the Etz Chaim, which means the life tree. And if you move up that tree, like there's a place called Geburah, which is a Sefrot. A Sefrot is a world. Geburah is father energy. Cheers, brother.
Cheers.
Namaste and Lachaim. If you move up the tree too fast, you could lose your mind. I've lost my mind.
I have too.
And it's freedom though too, right? Like you come back with the wisdom. Every time you're going into the black sun, you're looking for wisdom. And you have to have one of these. I recommend this for everyone. It's the Book of Shadows. This is where you write down all the things that come to you when you're in these states. Otherwise,
how has that helped you? Have you do you go over it again after that, or like you read through it?
I mean, yeah, I've written albums that I remember from my sleep even. I learned that I'm slightly superhuman, supernaturally powerful. It's crazy. I mean, an entire mental health team saw me do magic, and they're.
See, how do you deal with that when there's an entire mental health team that doesn't necessarily know what you know, and then they might think like, oh, this guy's being crazy because he's delved into spirituality, into religion, into the outward spirits, and how do you even how could you even accept their quote unquote medical opinion that they learned from school, which is kind of like a what's the term? My terms are all getting fucked up.
No, they're mentally castrated.
There you go. Okay, that's not the term I was looking for, but that's ill. That's super dope. Yeah,
like they're impotent of soul. The DSA 5
group thinking. That's in my term is that's very tame compared to what he just said. So mentally castrated is actually better though. Yeah,
generic mentally castrated sheeple. Every single one of them.
So how do you? So if how do you even listen to them, or how do you even tolerate their opinions? Like, how do you do that?
I can't tolerate their opinion because.
And then if you talk back to them, they're gonna say you're crazy.
They say I'm crazy, and 200 million Native American people were killed, some of which were my ancestors. So many American Indians were killed in the genocide, you could wrap them around the world, their bodies 6 times.
Wow.
It was the most efficient, it was a genocide. Every moment a Native American language is dying, I speak Nimiputint and Uto Aztecan. Okay, Takulawit, I speak that. I'm gonna teach my sons how to speak that, my daughters, so they can go to college.
How are you gonna teach them how to speak that? That's really. And how the fuck did you learn how to speak that shit? Honestly, bro, I have to stop you right there because how the fuck anybody can have all the time in the world, all the resources in the world, but they don't know the knowledge that you know. So how the fuck did you learn that shit? Because it's very difficult. It's easier said than done.
It was out of love. I had to know it.
So you read books on it, and then you spoke it with people who could speak the. Are these some of these dead languages?
Some of them are dead. I mean, I'm very close with the Lakota tribe, Selena.
And that's the Native American tribe.
Yeah.
Okay, because
the name for God is Makaina in that language.
So how did you? How do you delve yourself into that subject so far that you're fluent in it? Because I don't even speak fucking Hindi. I'm from fucking India. My family's from India. I can't even speak, and I failed Spanish 4. I got to Spanish 4 after 5 years of Spanish, bro. My point is like, bro, it's not. I'm an English brain, but you seem to have both right and left brain, and I'm not like I'm tooting your horn or nothing. No. I just feel like they need to know. This is a Renaissance podcast. Yeah. We called it the Rockwell podcast because I'm a fucking egomaniac, but it's a Renaissance podcast, and we talk about everything. There you go. We talk about everything, and I really think they need to know like So what made you first of all initially and try to learn everything because you're a black belt. And say everything you're martial arts wise. Tell them.
I have a master's degree in Sambo. There's no belt system in Sambo, but I have a black belt in Hapkido and Taekwondo. Started when I was 3. I've posted some videos of me on my Instagram of me doing the splits at a young age and fighting adults.
At Weston Coppola. Follow my Instagram.
Please follow, man, and stay tuned with us both because we're gonna take over, bro. And
it's a fact.
It's a fact.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, the martial arts, that almost took off like crazy, man. I mean...
So, while you were doing the martial arts, you were still learning these languages? Or was this after? Or did that lead to you, those disciplines in martial arts that you learned that Did that lead to you learning these other
I
things?
learned some Korean from Taekwondo, and then I speak Russian. Я понимаю говорить русский, я делаю самбурение без оружия. Да я разберусь с закрытыми глазами. I can speak Russian very well, and меня зовут
I don't know
Weston.
what the fuck he's saying. I don't know what the fuck he's saying, but it's
Armenian, Shnur Hakalutian, Hindi, Namaste, Shukriya, Mongolian, Barlala, Sayan Banu, Thai, Kopkum Kap, Arabic, Anamuta Hames.
You got outlet right here?
Yeah.
My bad. I gotta make
You
sure.
know what I'm saying? Like, all these languages. And then, of course, there's Greek and Italian. Oh, wait, there's outlet right here, bro.
Okay, cool. Yeah, we'll keep it going. I'm gonna edit this shit. Roll Rockwell podcast. First in studio in a minute, and thank God to Weston Cage Coppola for letting me be in here and interview him in person. That means the world to me. So we working King Side, we're getting this shit plugged in. Thank you, man. Hell yeah, we got it.
Let there be light.
Let there be light. Exactly. You wanna hit this, Susan?
For sure, bro.
So I want to ask you this. We're gonna go. We're Renaissance podcast, but that means we go all over the place because it's a diverse. Everybody got to learn this shit. Growing up as a kid, what kind of struggles? Because we had several kids. It's a cliche question. We had several kids of superstars, but your father is like an A-list superstar. How did that affect you growing up? Like negative, positive, and how did you overcome that? Because a lot of people don't understand how that can affect your brain and shit, you know?
Yeah, I mean, they always called me Nicolas Cage's son, to the point to where I would go to school in trench coats. I always thought about shooting it up.
How do they know that off the bat, though? Like, we'll get into that later, but how do they know that off the bat that you're like, it's just like, it's a fact, like they just know it in school?
Yeah, they all knew. They bullied me. I was cyber-bullied for ages, and I took it all out in wrestling. Won South Bay Heavyweight Champion, and I won Champion in 2018 in Sambo.
That's how you channel that energy.
Yeah.
So what struggles so when you grew up, okay, let's say in your teens, right? You want to do music, right?
Yeah.
So that's your main passion. Did that was that like a taboo thing in just quote unquote in the Hollywood family? Like, oh, we don't want him to go into dark metal, black metal music.
They all supported. I mean, at the Coppola mansion, we have Vlad Tepes, the real Dracula, hoisted up as a painting instead of Jesus or Muhammad or something. We have Dracula.
Word. Shout out to Dracula.
Shout out to Dracula. Man. He was a hero in Romania because the Ottomans were trying to conquer, and he protected Romania by being a terrifying prince.
The genius.
This is what we are. We have this royalty around about us. It's a very obvious trait.
It's royalty. You heard what he said? It's royalty.
He used to drink blood in a place. My dad went to Hoyobaciu, which is a very haunted forest in Romania.
In Romania? Okay.
Romania is the only energy.
Romania has beautiful women too.
Yes, my ex Danielle, you were amazing in bed, sweetie.
Shout out to you. But yeah, Romania, shout out to the women out there. You guys are beautiful women. So yeah, so you channel that, like that's the thing, like a lot of people don't channel that shit, especially in hip hop culture or something. It's just like you gotta learn how to channel. Everybody goes through childhood trauma, no matter what it is. It doesn't matter what background you come from, what kind of financial background you came from. It doesn't matter because you're gonna go through it.
My mom, I mean, I had an undercover cop rub my face in the ground for smoking a cigarette in high school, named Greg Parker.
Could we say fuck Greg Parker?
Yeah, fuck Greg Parker.
Fuck Greg Parker.
I know what that feels like to not be able to fucking breathe. That fucking sucked. He put his fucking, he did a freaking can opener type like freaking bar choke on my throat.
And how old were you?
I was only 14.
That's terrible. And what, did you guys press charges or like did you guys?
My dad wanted me to send him to prison, and I said no because I fucking hate slavery. My family came here during the Civil War from Italy to fight slavery, and they won because of us, man. I'm telling you, and Buffalo soldiers, the blacks that were armed and Union, and man, my family came from Italy. Like, That's why when people call me a cracker in high school and shit like that, I was like, fuck you, bro. Like, my family never had a part of slavery. We only fought it.
Yeah.
I have his papers at my house from Giuseppe Garibaldi. You know, like, so like, I didn't send him to prison because prison slavery, they're trying to enslave everybody. The incarceration rate in the United States is absolutely preposterous, especially towards people that are of minorities, like my friend Josh Keshmir. He's a brother of mine, only 5 feet tall, bro. You picked me up when I weighed 300 pounds, and you got me into my bedroom and gave me water when I was fucking messed up from Danielle. But like, they charged him freaking $500 for ashing a cigarette just because he's Persian. You know what I mean? And my daughters are Persian. This shit is fucking scary, man. And you know, the scariest thing I've ever dealt with, I would say, is some of these other rich kids, man. They're brats, bro, and they're very fucking dangerous.
So how did you stay so humble? Because if they're brats, and we've met a lot. I live in LA for a long time. I've met a lot. So how did you stay so humble? Like, what was it? Spirituality background? Was it the martial arts, or how did you do it?
Because I would constantly get humbled, like waking up early, wrestling every day, training in Iowa, Upper State University. I mean, they made my arms like this till this day. I hardly even work out.
He could fuck you up.
Like, they trained me to be a man. They all work with the livestock, and they're very spiritual. And they all called me California. They called me Cupcake as a nickname. They fucking they'll punish you until you become a badass wrestler. And I came back with a record of fucking 70 wins, 7 losses, and 2 draws. You know what I mean? Like, I fucking dominated like crazy. I mean, there's video here.
Let's show them real quick.
Yeah.
And we'll even play the clip on the podcast.
We'll totally do that.
Yeah.
Like, I wrestled my ass off, man.
That's how you channel that energy. Everybody young and mad, like, channel that energy into something positive. There's an ability to do that.
Absolutely. I mean, this is me at only 8 years old, and I'm already like whooping some ass right here against a guy who's much older than me.
We're gonna play the clip.
We'll watch it then.
Yeah, let's watch it real quick. That's you on the floor?
Yeah, when I was 8.
Who are you fighting?
Jun Chung.
Jun Chung. Damn.
He's a fucking genius.
You fucked him up, low key.
This is when they were training me to do splits, weird positions.
That's you as a kid?
Yeah.
We're gonna play this if we get, yeah.
I look like Shaggy from Scooby Doo.
I can't even believe that. Dude, that's ill.
Thank you, bro. I mean, I still teach people martial arts. The best thing to remember about martial arts too is that self-defense and martial arts are separate. Because martial arts, a karate practitioner, whether it's Kyokushin Kaikan or Shotokan, is gonna do very well. I'm gonna get my PhD in martial arts history, and
So he has a black belt, and name it again. And what fields do you have black belts?
I'll bring it. It's
show them. They need to see this shit. You know what I'm saying? Because I think that everybody should enroll. Okay, there's a fucking real black belt right here. It's a real black belt right here, ladies and gentlemen.
Bro's gonna get one too.
One day, I'll go for it. I'm gonna go for it, bro, because I'm an achiever. It's better late than never, bro. I never did martial arts. I did like ice skating and a little weird shit like that. but bro, I always wanted one of these. You know what I'm saying?
They're the best, man.
Dude, it feels powerful. There's an energy just even holding it, gripping this shit.
My ex let me tie her up with it.
That's what's up. That's how you know. That's how you know shit works, bro.
I've used it many times. Shit, son.
That's what's up, man. Hey, yeah.
But the center line of the body, that's the most vulnerable part. Someone could be 280 pounds and you're only 100 pounds. If you hit someone here, or the balls, that all hurts. But the eyes are class 1 pressure point balls or class 2 pressure point. Ooh, you can kick some dudes in the balls and they'll be like, hey, fucking watch out again.
Yeah.
They're like the crazy, like sadistic guys. You have to go for the eyes because it's like a camera. See, as soon as I put my hand like this, you're out of commission. Because I have your vision under control now. Always go for the eyes first. The most dangerous place for people to be is a parking lot, especially if you're a woman, you have a ponytail. No good. because those guys, they grab the girl by the. If you have long hair, period.
That's how people try to do that shit with me. I still fuck them up.
What
People
you do is
they grab me so I can't move. I know you guys are taught that
like
shit.
this. If I grab here,
Yeah, I can't move.
take
but
both your hands on top of my hand and press down. Bam! You see the crack? That's how you break the knuckles. And then they're done. That's how you keep the locks, bro.
That's how you learn that shit, man. Because the hair's too pretty sometimes. You can't let that shit go.
No, you can't let it go. It's the warrior braids.
It's the warrior braids. There you go. Let's get back.
You can twist the arm, even taking away a handgun. Clear control this arm stable like this. To shoot faster, you go this way and click.
Okay. So did that lead? Okay, so you did the movie in 2019, 2018.
2000. Well, I did D-Day.
D-Day, which he starred in.
I starred in D-Day, and then I starred in a movie called Assault on VA-33. I play a Russian.
What year did that come out?
That's still in pre-production. It's with Michael J. White, who played Spawn.
I love that movie.
It's with what's his name from Boondock Saints? Sean Patrick Flannery.
Okay.
And then I play the evil Russian, sexy mastermind with Colombian alpha female as my hit girl, and Richard Gabay.
Do you think you get these roles because of your martial arts background?
A little bit. I mean, it's loaded. Martial Arts Magazine has all this info, but they didn't want to use Sambo in the movie. No movie's ever shown Sambo. I have Sambo tattooed in my head. I mean,
can you explain to them what Sambo is?
Yeah.
Like, because I think not a lot of people have heard it. Is it Brazilian?
People think that because it's so close to the word samba.
Yeah.
When Russians say it, they say samba, Judah. Samba. But they sing, oh, sambo. It stands for Samoborene bez orужия, which means self-defense without weapons. It was created by a man named Oshepkov and Mr. Spiridonov, and they never met each other. So one guy's style was more fluid, the other guy's style was more heavy. Like the Spetsnaz says, fast and heavy, anytime, any place, anywhere. It's Spetsnaz martial arts. And then there's Armia Rukopashny Boy, which is like, which is like cutting the eye with your finger or ripping the face. Brutal attacks. There are 3 levels to Sambo. There's classical, which is basically just judo, and then some submissions, and then there's combat Sambo, which is I'm a master in, and then there's Sistema. Sistema is how you can like push someone across the street, which is mere energy, which I did recently. This guy almost spat COVID-19 into my friend's face and was saying that he had diseases and shit, and I sent him flying.
How? What movie?
Pushing. So American punches are like that, which works, you know.
Yeah. Japanese
is like kind of like through. Russian, you kind of just imagine weight, and you can just send it through the entire hand. I mean, there's a guy named Ryan Wheeler in Beverly Hills. People think that the Sambo punch is bullshit. Try him out. He'll punch you into the floor.
What happened after that? When he went to? Did you leave? And then we're not. He didn't press no charges or nothing.
No. I mean,
we might cut this out. It's up to him. We'll see. We'll see how. Yeah.
I love everyone at 7-Eleven, like Golam and all those guys that run that place.
Shout out. You know, Third Street,
7-Eleven.
And La Brea.
I just didn't like that guy. You know, he was starting fights with my friend, and my friend got out of his way, and then he tried again with my friend. And this guy was a young gay dude who just can't really fight very much, and I was like, fuck this dude, and I fucking just sent him across the street with one blow, that power punch straight to the frickin' solar plexus, rupture it. You know, I mean, that's what I did. And then my friend has video of him, I guess, saying he would press charges, but we all got in the car and left. I mean,
yeah, fuck that shit, and we'll see what happens. This is done deal. But anyways, let's get back. Okay, so into the acting. D-Day. How was that process going through that? You starred in that film. D-Day was
D-Day, yeah.
It's a great film. It's a great film.
It really happens.
I recommend everybody watch that. Great war film. World War II.
World War II. That was specifically June 6th, 1940.
That's today.
Yeah, man.
You know how ill that is? That's today while we're filming this podcast. Today is June 6th. That's ill. Continue.
There was the Nazi defensive positions all over that beach at Point du Hoc, and the Nazis were up on meth, and they made a pretty powerful position. And Eisenhower had a suicide letter, an apology actually, for all the troops, saying I'm sorry that this happened because they thought we were going to lose. But we actually faced the most terrifying force the United States has ever faced. They were so brilliant. We still based our, as a Jew I could say this too, we still based our artillery and our helmets off of them. That's how fierce they were. And they were trained like crazy. And we woke up early and attacked them at like 6 in the morning on this beach, and we scaled 100-foot cliffs, and the United States fucking whooped their ass. Even though it defied fucking physics.
How did you get into character, and how did you develop that accent, and where's that accent even originated from?
It's called mid-century Atlantic. It's when they kind of speak like this. It's an old, like 1940s sounding voice, or it's very much so like, yeah, well, you see, that kind of voice. It's but I kind of did like a Texan style when I would talk like Lieutenant Colonel Rudder. Like, you all are going to lead this battle. I'll get you home stateside as soon as possible. Like, that kind of like fatherly voice. I possessed myself with him. His ghost. I was in the bathtub.
When you say that, just elaborate on that a little bit more.
I did meditations, and I asked his family if he could lend his energy. And I don't mean like a ghost or a corpse falling around like Casper. I'm talking about quantum physics. I asked his energy to unlock and to visit me while I was on set, so that I wouldn't dishonor his family.
So did you have to stay in character the whole time, like even during like craft services and where
Yeah.
you getting? So how did people react to you doing that? Like, were they like, "Oh, okay, what the fuck is he doing?"
Oh shit. Well, I mean, I was high as fuck
Yeah.
because I couldn't handle the obligation. The writer showed me this email from a guy with PTSD that was in the Iraq War, and it was just like, it was so sad, it was so brutal, and I just, that's why I cried in that scene when I'm telling the medic. We have to watch that scene, bro.
I need to, yeah. And I've seen a lot of clips, man. This movie looks amazing. Looks amazing. He starred in that film. Looks amazing. So it seems like, does it take a toll on you as your spirit, or as your being? Like, when you get out of that role, do you have to like stay in that role, or are you able to just cut it off when it needs to be cut off?
I went into depression.
You did? See, and that's a normal thing that happens with actors. All you guys are out there. So
For 1 year.
why?
Because of the humility that role brought to me. You have no idea what life is until you fucking had to take one. More. And those guys go through a lot in every country. The soldiers. Like, I was a master chess player. I used to like be in a chess team, and the pawns, man, they go out and get shot up. It's fucked up.
So what, do you read books about it? Do you watch old war films about it? Like, how did you engulf yourself and channel that spirit? Like, how did you become that man? Because everybody got to watch this movie. You guys are gonna see.
My mom's side of the family, they're all military.
And you spoke to them?
Yeah,
Okay.
my uncle Eric was involved in a serious situation with submarines. They accidentally blew up a fishing boat
Damn.
because
okay.
the commissioner told him to pull the trigger, or to turn the key rather, on the torpedo, and he moved to Seattle to try to get that out of his mind.
Maybe we don't gotta go back there. What's some of the funner roles you played in your career, like happier roles, comedy roles? Because honestly, I think this man has a gift for comedy. If you guys follow his Instagram, at Weston Coppola, it's hilarious.
I did a stoner comedy with Jason Mewes,
Okay.
where I played a Colombian cartel
Okay.
named Javier Melendez. I had a lot of fun with that role, man.
Yeah. What year did that come out? And we'll play a clip. Yeah.
We'll play a clip right.
Yeah.
There's some laughing, bro.
Hell yeah.
Shit. She was like, you know what I'm saying? This is gonna be good. Bro. Roadkill, bro. I was the voice of Ghost Rider, bro.
That's hard. That's a Marvel movie.
Where is this shit? Deaton back. They paid me a lot of money for this. Sorry.
It is what it is. It is what it is. You gotta pay up.
You gotta pay up, man. Here it goes, bro. Oh my god, I just found the whole movie, bro. You can watch us watch this.
Yeah, you see the reaction. We'll play it over here. Look at this motherfucker. I already don't like this dude.
Just give me a review. Fuck this guy.
What? Do you give a good review?
Yeah.
Alright. That was
I
Child's
made everyone laugh.
Say the name of the movie again for the people.
Deaton back saved the world.
Deaton back saved the world. Everybody check that shit out.
It's with Jason Mewes. Edward Furlong was him, but he got fired.
Edward Furlong is from Terminator, right?
Yeah.
In American history.
Stars in a bloody broken. Really are a superhero. With sex, guns, and weed. It's time.
It's me.
What you gonna do that, bitch? Shoot you in the fucking head. Deep backs. Overrated.
Can I ask you a question?
Yeah, bro.
I want to see, like, okay, a lot of people, they would expect you to just do a caricature of your father. What made you want to go different? I feel like you're purposely going different.
Oh, totally going different. Bro.
Why? And I think it's a great thing, but explain that, why, and how are you different and unique?
This is inappropriate here, but I mean, I think I'm crazier than my father. He pushes it 0 to 60. I go 0 to 6,000.
6,000.
It's the best fucking weed on the West Coast, and it's free. Meet Max, a brain drain couch surfer who's too stoned to see straight. These two weedpreneurs are down on their luck. Why the long face? Fired again. Fucking losers,
me.
man. Fuck that noise. I'm talking
Which one?
Cheap Ninja,
I
bro.
believe that
That
Colombian.
fucking dream died harder than the rest. Until they get a second
Wow.
shot at their dream. You guys are hired. Motherfucking army. Yeah, I died. Fuck, man. But soon they realize they're on the payrolls of a deadly drug syndicate. You are those okay? What did we come
Russian
here
accent.
for? We came here to get the
That's
money.
Colombian.
Oh, it's Colombian?
When these dumbasses get delusions.
Maybe. I mixed them up.
Sativa. Max! Wake up! Is that really there? This is a great idea to do this. The shit hits the fan. Now, fellas.
When does this come out?
The only way to make
It came out 3 years ago.
Nice. Everybody check this shit out.
is to sell their bodies to science. That's a big fucking needle. Time. How are you two still alive? I can't tell you. It's top secret. Dean, played by Jason Mewes in his dankest role ever. Come on, Max! Bax, played by Craig Michelson as a sidekick with no shame in his game. What the fuck? It's a bloody B-movie bromance. You really are a superhero. Full of sex, guns, and weed. This picture is so intolerable. It's unrated. It's shameless, rude, ballsy, lustful, disturbing, arousing, grotesque, and most of all, badass. Deep backs. Unrated. Outlaw. This is a Rocky Farm production.
Dean Max, everybody check that shit out.
Oh,
We're
yeah,
gonna play
bro,
the
check it
preview
out.
over here. Okay, so what's your plans going forward with the acting? Like, what's your goals? Are you gonna stay in acting and direct? Because we've seen your, even as Instagram is fucking cinematography. Like I'm telling you, like it's cinematic. Like so, what's your plans going forward with this?
Well, I want to take over the world.
Mm.
And my next child's gonna be named Oscar.
Okay.
I mean, I fucking have 4 children. Where's Oscar? I'm coming, babe. I'm giving all your gold.
Mm.
And my speech is gonna wake up the fucking universe. It's gonna be good. We'll both have Oscars.
I guarantee that. That's a fact. It's gonna be a historic podcast because I'm telling you, bro. Y'all know what I can do. y'all know what he can do. So I'm telling you guys, just stay tuned. Just keep watching. Just keep watching.
We will take over. It's already happening.
Mm-hmm.
So
It's a fact. It's a fact. And we let the universe, we let things come to us. Some of y'all be forcing that shit. A lot of the people in the acting world are just too desperate. You guys are growing, and you guys should just be grateful for the auditions that you guys get, because honestly, that desperation, and you've seen the rest of our interviews. We interview these casting directors, and they tell us like, look, that desperation, you can smell that shit from a mile away. Everybody gotta chill, bro. Just whatever's right for you is gonna come to you if you're ready for it. If you're not ready for it, then just keep waiting.
every time you're close to a no, every time you're told no, you're that closer to a yes. So
There you go.
just stay persistent and believe that you already have the part.
There you go.
That's how I got on NCIS with LL Cool J.
How did that happen?
I auditioned. I fought for it.
Do you ever feel like, oh, I shouldn't even have to audition?
Yeah.
Explain that scenario.
Because I can manipulate my weight, man. I can get buff, fat, skinny. I can control my entire physique.
Yeah.
I speak 8 languages, and I'm gorgeous. What are these people thinking? So if they hire me, things will get started. You know what I mean, bro?
Mm-hmm. There you go. Light that shit on fire. He just swallowed the whole fucking lighter right now. You see that? Dude is magic.
Oh shit.
Oh, Jesus. You good. But I'm saying, bro, like, yeah. So he's humble enough to like do these auditions while all you like, oh, I shouldn't even have to audition. A lot of you actors, bro, this is grade A talent, bro. And his talent, he's not relying on his lineage. He's not relying on his last name. A lot of you young actors try to do that, and you blame. It's a fair game right now. So get it when you fit in.
Hey, I didn't get the part to play Creed 2. I was gonna be the bad guy.
With the Russian accent. Was he Russian, the Creed 2?
The high Romanian guy.
Oh, Romanian. Yeah.
I mean, they wanted the ugly guy. It's all good.
Let me ask you this, okay? And we're gonna wrap up in like 10 minutes, okay? I want to ask you this, like, how do you see yourself going forward with? Okay, what's your redemption story? How do you see your redemption story? Like, in your mind, how do you picture that? Because you are gonna have a redemptive story.
Well, if there is a riot, I will participate with my men. If there's more rioting, I will participate.
How?
By shutting everything down, so there's no more violence. All my followers will help me on this. We'll use magic even.
100%.
All these witches. Because there's Adam and Eve. They were married, but then there's Lilith. Lilith was the witch shrieking on the hills, doing all the witchcraft, flipping her eyes back like I am. Powerful stuff. We'll take over the world if this doesn't stop. And I'll keep acting.
Which is that what you're going to be doing mainly going forward, or music?
You and I will both be acting. Oh yeah, Ro and I are doing a duo.
For real.
A band as well, so.
Everything.
It's called Source Step, because we pull from the fucking source, bro.
He just named that right now, and I automatically agree with it, because that shit hard. Source Step, I'm with it.
Dude, let's fucking record that shit.
Let's do it. So we're going to end this podcast, bro. We're going to have a good time. And I just want you guys to be enlightened. Listen to this man's spirituality. Listen to this man's wisdom. What he's learned through his experiences. And we appreciate you paying attention. We out of here. Rockwell. Anything else you want to say? Anything else you want to plug?
Yeah, this is for Ro and I.